No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub, the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden, Matt Ritter, innovator of podcasts on Pornhub, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening. He is the honorary Oos of Creation World, a chef by trade, a mark by choice, the purveyor of Rivet City Radio and host of Botch Spots and Chair Shots, the Will Gray.
Hola, Mateo. Hola, Papi. ¿Cómo estás?
I'm good, Billiam. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. I hung out. I watched wrestling this week. I got to do a couple episodes of Creation Conversation. Me and Mara attempted to burn the house down while you guys were all gone. It was a lot of fun. It's been a great week.
Very nice, very nice. And making his return after almost a month of not being here, he is your Pornhub Papi, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, my friend Vince.
Daddy's home.
That's what I say every time I walk into Charlie's house.
What's up, guys? It's fun to be here. Matt, you and I haven't really talked since the last time we were on Get Show, like 2 episodes ago. Like
we text.
We text.
Sometimes you respond, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't respond. I
text you and said, "Hey, should we call this episode 25 years of edging?" And you just nothing.
I responded to you.
Did it go through?
Well, if it didn't, I feel bad. But you shouldn't accuse me for not texting back when I always text back. I've been having issues.
My phone literally says, "Should we call the episode 25 years of edging?" Actually, it says "she-we," not "should we," but that's on me. And then below that is, "Are you coming back?" Which I asked when you got into and then left the call before we started the show. There's no text from Vince in between.
Oh, it didn't actually send.
Mm-hmm.
Well then. Anyways, besides that little hiccup, yeah, we've been fine. We've been good. Will, I haven't really talked to you since last time I was on Creation Conversation, so this has been a minute.
Cooking blue meth?
I hate to tell you this. All of my recipes come from Southern Black grandmothers.
Exclusively.
You know, Will, I get where you're going with that, but I know where he's going to go with that. So go ahead, Taekwon. I want to thank everybody for joining us here live tonight on a Friday night on twitch.tv/Creation World, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get Prime Gaming. And if you have Prime Gaming, you can get a free Twitch sub every month. I'm not talking about the Twitch sub that Taekwon is to me. I'm talking about a subscription to your favorite Twitch account. Isn't that right, you little whore? He asked me to call him that. He did. We were in a chat. He told me he wanted me to call him a whore, so I'll call him a whore.
This is my first impression of him.
Mouth, so
this is my first impression of him. So I'm not here to judge. Okay.
Free Twitch sub.
Yeah.
Every month. You can give to Rivet City Radio. You can give to Creation World. You can give to your favorite Twitch streamer. Just make sure you use it and support somebody, because we're all out here grinding, trying to, do well for you guys. And yeah, see, you're stealing from the fellas.
Good on that. Being able to censor the word.
Radio edit. We're out here doing our thing, trying to garner that support, and we would all appreciate it. I also think that I'm fucking awesome, so you should just send it my way. But if you don't like me, you should like him, and you should send it to him. right below me. Also, you can be checking us out live on youtube.com/creation world. And there it's free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Well, what do those things do?
They help the algorithm and help find new listeners.
I have one, yes. His name is Taekwon. He's in the chat. You can talk to him, Jesus. Find out how that works. Got him for free. Oh, wait, no, he's a sub. I'm a Dom. I am a free Twitch Dom, though. I'm available with, without hire. See? He's my little grizzly. Yeah, see? I'm his little grizzly bear.
Whoa.
You guys can also flick that bean up top, that notification bell, get notified every time we go live, whether it is here for Smackin' It Raw on Saturdays, except for tonight, because I'm trying to get laid tomorrow. So,
that makes two of us.
Pickle.
As well as Creation Conversation Monday through Friday, and getting off every other week on the weekend. I believe it's going to be next Sunday. We're going to be doing Twisted Metal, so come check that out as well. We just dropped a recent episode this past weekend. You can go check out. Fun shit. We ranked the top 5 essential slashers and then gave our own list of our favorite slasher franchises.
Okay.
Did a great job. Go check it out.
You had the whole core 4 in that one?
Whole core 4 and Will. So the core 5. Why do I feel like he wants to call me Yogi Bear?
I mean, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum.
I like that.
You do give off grizzly bear vibes, though. So
not so much since he cut the beard off.
I didn't cut the beard off. All I did was shave the mustache down, and there's still, like I said, it's hard to see in the lighting, but it's still there. It's just really short. I've got news and rumors since Katie's not here this week. She's on vacation, spending that Kinder Bueno money. First and foremost, looks like Lacey Evans, aka Miss Macy, got her release. Macy Estrella, Lacey Evans.
Estrella? Well, I don't know what her last name is. Let me hit up Google real quick.
I'm pretty sure it's Estrella. Anyway,
it's not a Spanish name, that's for sure.
It looks Spanish. Her husband might be Spanish.
Let's see.
I was turned off by the cat.
Oh yeah. By the way, I have a cat now.
I got it right.
Her name is Maxie.
Pad?
No, please don't say that.
First name Maxie, middle name Pad.
And a lot of people are glad that Macy is gone. I am, but mostly because I've been waiting for that OnlyFans, and it looks like it's coming. So please hit me with that.
She posted her first picture today.
Not only is that OnlyFans coming, but so will Matt once he subscribes.
Hold on. She posted her first picture today. Where, Will?
Check her Instagram. She posted her first picture. Only acknowledge Macy Gray. I try to say goodbye and I joke. Try to walk away and I stumble.
Look at that. We getting serenaded by Will. I like
try
it.
To hide it. It's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near.
I'm not seeing it on Instagram. You're gonna have to find that and send it to me, Will.
I'll send it to you, sir. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. Anyway, for science purposes. I'm trying to see that bodysuit that she had on there for a little while when she came back. The see-through one, but without the G.I. Joe pants over it and the bra underneath. So we get that on OnlyFans, something like that. I heard Katie say that Biggie is going to be in a movie called F+, I believe, coming out soon.
Really?
That's what I heard. So while we won't be getting Biggie in the ring, presumably anytime soon, looks like we may be getting him on the big screen.
We need more Biggie on our screens.
I agree with that.
I'm trying to look this up to see if Biggie to start. Yeah, F+. Okay, I got that right.
Well, I don't see this picture either, man.
I misread. What it said was she posted some pictures of her in like a robe, sitting in a hotel, eating pizza, like scantily clad, and another one like with her booty hanging out over the edge of a truck, saying her OnlyFans was coming. I misunderstood. I thought it said that she had put the pictures up already.
I will, just because I want to see. Like, she'll get a month out of me because that's how it works. Just to see.
Everybody gets 1 month.
Sorry, Allison.
From Matt.
I'll just wait for it to go to Reddit.
There are better white women to jerk off to. You are correct, but I would like to jerk off to all the white women. So, and black women and Asian women and Hispanic women and, just all the women, period.
But you have a type.
Yeah. Boobs and a vagina. That's my type.
Facts.
Anyway, also, speaking of boobs and vagina and porn, porn star Alexis Fox is training to wrestle with Jay Lethal, learning how to wrestle.
Really?
We'll probably be seeing her at some indie shows very soon.
God, I can't wait to get her on my show.
And to be honest with you, I feel like somebody that has sex on camera for a living has got to be really good at selling. So,
it depends on, the tag team partner. She does have to sell for her partner.
I feel like these women are selling for everybody, regardless of how good the tag team partner is, and making it look good. So,
That's the majority of their job.
Yeah,
is to make their partner look good. She'll be a great wrestler. What would be in the porn industry, Matt? What would they call a good hand? I guess it would just be a good hand, right?
Fluffer?
Yeah.
That'd be the fluffer, Will. Yeah, it's a designated job.
She's got a mouth and asshole to go with that hand. Last but not least, the biggest news that dropped today: one half of FTR, Cash Wheeler. Apparently, this happened back in July. So my understanding of the situation is, some point back in July, he got into a road rage altercation in which he brandished a gun, a Glock Anderson, if you will, at a pedestrian that he was upset with, and was arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm. His bond is $25,000 or $250,000, but like you pay the 10% of that to get out. So bail, however that works,
that'd be
$250,000,
$250,000.
But then they actually have to pay $25,000 to get out on. Yeah. Anyway, and now he'll be showing up tomorrow on Collision with a message, possibly not being able to go to All In due to everything that's going on, because this is, I believe, a 3rd-degree felony.
I'm not sure.
Felony. Well, probably not in Florida, though.
I posted the arraignment video. I also found this morning, I found his mugshot and the charges from the police in Orlando County. I sent that as well. It was a $25,000 bail with a $2,500 bond. So that's you were right on the 10% and the $25,000. It was $2,500 to get out. He also, though, this is the key part about it, the whole England thing. And this is what a lot of people on the internet are forgetting. Today at his arraignment, he left and he didn't have to surrender his passport. Think about that. If they were going to plan to make this man stay in the country and be in the system, they would have made him turn over his passport. If you're a convicted felon, you have to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Not convicted yet.
And he hasn't been convicted yet. And it's going to go to trial because another key component on all this, and his attorney was very clear. He's pleading a hard not guilty, not a no contest, not a, anything. He's not acquitting. He's nothing. Just a hard, I didn't do it. That's not.
Well, the fact that he, the fact that he walked away unharmed is because he's white.
Facts.
Yeah.
In Florida. I just the video that you sent me, I'd actually seen, and my favorite part about it was they told him that while they have the firearm, any other weapons that he may own, he has to then go give to the sheriff. And the way my brain works and what I was trying to get across, but was having a hard time doing, is like I just see him walking to the sheriff's office with a trash can with like a kendo stick and a steel chair, a bag full of thumbtacks, and just like pouring it all out, because those are weapons, ladies and gentlemen, in the world of wrestling.
Yes, correct. Convict Cash has a lot of weapons he needs to get rid of.
All of his weapons.
Yeah.
Flaming 2x4s wrapped in barbed wire.
You know, in some
Handcuffs.
circles, some people could consider his penis a weapon. Would he have to relinquish his penis?
What circles is a penis considered a weapon?
Any circle that I'm in. He's a redneck from North Carolina or whatever. He's got all the bang bangs. The government has no idea. I know how the South works, guys. I've been here the majority of my life. The government has no idea. There's one of them behind every blade of grass down here. Imagine what?
What is this laugh? I believe she's talking to Vince.
Me?
I think she's talking to me.
Oh, did you make a funny laugh?
That was just the ha-ha when I made the penis joke or whatever. But I mean, I didn't think it was that funny. It was just, a dick joke. I'm always going to laugh at a dick joke. Especially on your show.
It's more apropos here.
Speaking of dick jokes, Vince, spit or swallow?
Oh yeah, that is the thing we do here.
Oh, Magic Johnson's house. Yeah, yep. Got it. Nope, that clicked.
It took a minute.
I get it now.
Look, I'm not sure where I wanted to start things off, but you know what? I think I'm gonna just start things off with like the big thing from tonight. 25 years of Edge. I won't be edging us. I won't be edging anyone for the entire episode. I'll just talk about Edge from the beginning. I thought the video packages were very well done. I liked a bunch of his colleagues, a lot of the wrestlers backstage, like just wishing him like congratulations and like all this other stuff, talking fondly about him. I think it's great. Edge is a great man. He's a positive influence in the locker room. You see all the like backstage stuff when he did make his return at the Rumble. Guys like Kevin Owens, for instance, and Becky Lynch were like very just like giddy like a schoolgirl at the fact that Edge was there. So that was really cool to see. The match with Sheamus, I honestly didn't know he never wrestled Sheamus in his entire stint in WWE, which is mind-boggling. So the match was fantastic. I thought it was well done. I didn't know that there were like rumblings that he was going to retire until like someone on Twitter is like, "Oh man, Edge is retiring," and the way they like presented things made it seem like a swan song type of last match for him. So I'm just happy for Edge. I thought the match was great. He main evented in his hometown of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Great stuff. Great fit. He got to wrestle the greatest masked wrestler of all time in Sheamus. If that was his final match, that's a great way to go out, So swallows all around.
Whenever I finish, I'd love to have my wife in the crowd cheering me on when I do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go.
It was nice to have Beth there and his daughters being able to watch what may or may not be his last match. Fact that he went out on a win has me a little suspicious that it's not his last match. The whole show was great. The match was fucking awesome because it's Edge and fucking Sheamus, and big swallow.
I loved it. I loved the IC title. Did you see the Edge like custom Intercontinental title with the oval IC belt, the blue and
Vince
the white?
really liked it, didn't you, Vince? You thought it was like the belt you've ever seen?
I didn't really look, man. I might be in the minority. I said this in the group chat with everyone when Katie shared it.
Just on the show, not in general.
Well, I'm used to being the minority in general in life, so it's a familiar feeling. But I saw so many people like, oh, it's so cool. I get the inspiration from his like OG gear when he first debuted in WWE. But I don't know, me personally, it was not for me. But Gesundheit, bless you.
You said that word right.
What, debuted?
No, that's not what you said. That is not what you said. You said debuted. I was very proud of you, and I clapped.
If you just ignore it, I will stop doing it because I would try to like not say it. But then when you bring attention to it, I will purposely say it the way it should be correctly pronounced. Debuted. But yeah,
yes, we did.
Title was whatever it was. It was fine. I don't personally like it, but I'm not gonna yunk any yums.
That's twice. I love the IC title. My favorite belt of all time is the white strap. But
I can see I like your straps white.
That's not fair. If he's doing it in the chat, you can't do it on the show too.
Wait, what happened?
Vince is making fun of me too now.
Listen, man, I had a whole roast in the chat and on the screen, and my girlfriend was sitting on the couch in like joining the roast. So
The
it's
roast.
okay.
I
Why not a blackstrap? Yeah. What do you have against a blackstrap?
Matt
I have it
Show,
on good authority that Will owns a black strap and uses it on regular occasion.
facts.
Interesting.
And I don't yuck any yums, Taekwon. I like every flavor of ice cream.
I'm gonna finish my SmackDown shit because there were only two things I gave a shit about tonight, and that was Edge, and that was the women's tag team match, Damage Control versus Bianca and Charlotte. I know Vince had more, and I didn't put it in my notes because I figured I'd let him talk about other stuff that isn't really doing it for me, and just let him have his time to put over shit that he likes instead of shitting all over it. So I just left it out of my notes.
It's been 3 weeks. I need to swallow the things I need to swallow.
I know. So Damage Control, Bianca and Charlotte. I mean, you've got Bayley and Charlotte, two of the 4 horsewomen in there, and they're always going to put on a good show as long as Charlotte stays away from her terrible fucking moonsault, and she respects Bayley to work with her. Bianca is great. Bianca got the win. Io is motherfucking Io Sky. Like, you have 4 of the best women in the company in the ring on a Friday night. Nothing to hate on that.
No. I don't know how I feel about like them pairing up Bianca and Charlotte again, getting another win. You know,
it's just a way to kill time until they go at it in their singles match. Like, it is what it is.
I mean, as long as we get it, I'll be fine. But if they're just doing the thing where now they're going to be a team fighting forces against Damage Control, I'm going to be spitting that. But I'm going to gargle it right now. The match was what it was. You know, obviously, I would prefer Damage Control to actually get some wins here. But, you know, there is Bayley, and right now she's kind of like the person that just eats all the L's, takes all the pins. So,
also, shout out to Noob and Prince in the chat. They came in and said, hi, how you guys doing?
Shout out to Noob. Noob, do you ever use Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat? And if that's the inspiration for your name, that's my question for you.
I don't think it is.
Just a question.
As a matter of fact, I don't think there's much content that Noob consumes or messes with that doesn't involve Natalia Markova at this point. So,
pretty facts. You pretty much knocked out everything I had written down in my swallows, Matt. Like, there wasn't a ton for SmackDown.
SmackDown? Oh, I was gonna say just in
general, like
the whole show was like, "Fuck it, I'm done.
I'm out." That was it.
I mean, Will does like to come quick, so you know.
But I stay hard. That's pretty much all of SmackDown. The only thing I have written down for SmackDown that you didn't just hit on is the fact that we didn't have to go back to the Bloodline well tonight. It was cool to go 2 hours without it.
Will, spit or swallow?
My first swallow of the night comes from the National Wrestling Alliance. The Women's World Champion Camille broke 800 days, ladies and gentlemen, as the NWA Women's World Champion. She's held the Burke for 800 consecutive days as the one-time NWA Women's World Champion.
Congrats to her. I thought it was
she's the only woman in NWA, so it's not hard to do. But
Natalia Markova's in the NWA.
Not anymore. I thought she left.
No, she still wrestles there. She's got a title shot at 75 in St. Louis in 2 weeks on the 25th and 27th. Check it out on Fight TV Plus.
Well, hopefully Natalia Markova wins, and then she'll go do some podcasts since Camille won't.
Fucking thank you. You can say that. I can't. That's it. I swallow Camille pretty much all the time. And Billy Corgan.
Okay.
Whoa.
Lost some lightage over there.
My TV went off.
I agree 100%. NWA, I think, had Tyrus as a champ, and that invalidates everything that they do. Because fuck Tyrus.
He's still the champ. He hasn't defended the title in almost
800 days.
As long as Camille's been champion.
Yeah, exactly. Vince, spit or swallow?
I'm gonna go back to SmackDown because there's maybe 2 more things I want to mention, but obviously, Grayson Waller opened up the show trying to drive a wedge between Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. He was supposed to have Rey Mysterio only, I believe, for the Waller fight, but he had Santos there. He was trying to drive a wedge between them. I keep seeing the line. Everybody's like, "Oh, Santos is going to turn heel." I'm like, I don't really see it. Like, I get where like wrestling logic dictates that Santos should be upset at Rey and then turn on him. Not why. But I know why you're gonna say it, because he has a history of turning his back and he's not like a good family member. But we rectified that. Tony D has given him a pass. You should too as well. Everyone deserves a second chance unless your name is Matt Riddle.
I have given him a second chance. I am with you. However, history dictates Rey Mysterio has never been heel. So if someone's got to turn, it's got to be
either
Santos.
of them are going to turn. But that's my thing. I don't think either of them are going to turn. Rey Mysterio.
Then this was a terrible choice. In my personal opinion.
Rey Mysterio is just going to be a transitional champion. I don't know if it's going to go to LA Knight. It could be to like Bobby Lashley. Like Bobby Lashley needs a championship. Put the U.S. title on him. He can destroy Rey Mysterio. I love Rey Mysterio, but he has long been a guy for other guys to just get over as a heel. Like Batista did it to him. Kane's done it to him. Great Khali destroyed his face one time and scared the shit out of me as a child. So I just think that he's just going to be a transitional champion, and why not just give the title to him, especially since Austin Theory wasn't really doing anything.
That is a lie. Never said that.
You know what? I'm not going to repeat that. You know, I have it under the good authority that Matt's always invited to the carne asada and has sazon with his steaks. So give him the pass right now, just like he should give the pass and the benefit of the doubt to Santos. That's all I'm saying.
I told you I am. It's just there's a history, and you said the internet thinks, and I was justifying why the internet thinks. It's not.
No, I understand.
Logic dictates. It's the man has a history. Elektra Lopez is still waiting for her ride to the main roster.
It's okay. She's got a little advice with her now. I'd stay right there in NXT.
I would too. That's where the Don is. Yeah. If I were her, that's where she should still be out working the docks.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna swallow it just because we got to start off the show with Rey Mysterio and Santos. I don't really care for Grayson Waller. Obviously, it did help transition to the following match, which is Austin Theory versus LA Knight. I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know. Just swallowing Rey Mysterio, Santos Escobar. I'm just happy to see one of my top favorite wrestlers, one of my Mount Rushmore of wrestling, have a championship in this late stage of his career. I'm cool with it.
My issue with this is whether it happens or not. We thought this was the deal, and then Waller was trying to push it. We don't need issues in every main roster fucking faction.
Exactly. That's another reason.
Bloodline has issues. Judgment Day has issues. We don't need issues in the LWO too. Like we don't fucking need it. And in my personal opinion, Rey Mysterio is a legend. He doesn't need the fucking US title. You should put it on Santos and let him have a run with it. Plain and simple.
What if he has a legit injury and they had to call an audible?
Then put it on LA Knight, not Rey Mysterio.
I'm okay with this.
I know you are.
I don't think Rey needed it. I agree with that.
Oh, he doesn't need anything
not
anymore.
at all.
His career, he's solidified. But just give everything to him. I will say I did like the line where it's like, yeah, you won the U.S. title, but it's not the Father of the Year award, but at least you're the U.S. champion. I like that line.
Had he held the U.S. title before?
Yes.
This is the third time.
Okay, I apologize for not knowing, but that would have been the only reason I think they would be the same reason they're going to give the belt to Sheamus would be to finish a Grand Slam or something. But
hopefully,
not everyone needs to be a Grand Slam.
No, but guys who deserve it and are that close do.
You brought him up. The only swallow that I have from NXT this week is Tony and Stacks opening up the show, defeating Schism, just being the NXT Tag Team Champions. Vince wasn't here to hear me talk about them bonding with Santos, but I was happy about that. Props to them. They got over their shit. Me and Vince came together as a united front for one night on NXT, just like they did. And no, they beat Schism. So that is my only swallow from NXT this week.
I actually have a lot to talk about NXT, and I honestly didn't think I would because I prolonged watching NXT until this Friday morning. Because I knew Dom wasn't going to have a match. And I'm like, do I really care about anything else? But there was a few things in here that I'm going to spit and swallow. But it's not my turn yet. So
it's not. And I'm proud of you for not jumping the gun. Will, spit or swallow?
I will stick on NXT, though, because I did watch it this week. I thought Tony D was super cool. I like him. I mean, he's on my list of NXT people that I like, and I know now the D'Angelo family. I'm here for it. Somebody who had a great match over somebody who I think could wrestle a broom was Trick Williams. Him and Drew Gulak had a surprisingly good match. It wasn't super long. It was a TV match, but like Trick, he's slowly coming into his own as an in-ring worker. At first, I thought he was just kind of a mouthpiece and that friend who would do spots in matches, but never actually be like a quality in-ring worker. But Trick Williams is on his way up. I'll give him props. I'm going to swallow Trick Williams.
I think it was a smart move for them to use the Ilya Dragunov title feud to transition to a Dragunov versus Trick feud to help establish him as a singles guy. And they didn't break them up. They didn't do a heel turn because that's the thing. You don't need to do a turn just to like separate a wrestler from another one. They could just be like, hey man, I just need to do my own thing. What's the face for?
I can handle girth. Thank you very much.
Oh, Trick,
I'm
that's
offended.
too much Girford, man. Swallow that.
No, I got it. I can handle it.
Well,
I can take all the Trick Willie. He also said he's swallowing Mello and Wes Lee because he supports his fellas, and you should always support your fellas. Me personally, swallowing Mello, not a fan of Wes Lee. He's still not doing it for me. Not about that, but
Bad shitty kids.
Yeah, fuck bad shitty kids.
Well,
and I'm talking Riddle, not Ritter. The only reason to watch NXT are Mello and Wes Lee. They are the only two on that roster that I care anything about, and I only care about one of them. Mostly I watch NXT for the women. They didn't do much this week.
No, I think they only had the one match, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just Thea Hale versus JC Jane match. Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke versus Blair.
We'll get there. It's not my turn yet. Vince, spit or swallow.
Okay, so we talked about it already, so I might as well just knock it out right now for my list. I am going to swallow that Wesley beat Dijak with the cardiac kick leading into the spiral tap. I haven't really seen anyone use the spiral tap as a finisher since AJ Styles in Impact in TNA, not Impact, because it was still TNA when he was there using the move. And it's a good, sweet finisher. Like, I like wrestlers having multiple finishers that can finish matches, especially because commentary really sells like normally the cardiac kick is enough to like finish it, but because Dijak is such a big guy or whatever, he needs to get that a little extra oomph in there to really get that win, and he hit the spiral tap. They were teasing from the beginning. They did the segment with Wesley going up to Mello while he was signing autographs, saying it's like, hey, you know, like I want this. You're gonna face me at Heatwave next week, and Mello basically was just brushing him off, essentially, while he was, God damn it, Maxie, while he was just signing autographs. Gets the win, comes back, then he's still signing autographs. And he's like, no, sign the contract now. And then Mello's still like, I'm busy, I'll get to it later. The intensity and assertiveness and aggressiveness that came from Wesley following that was what I'm really swallowing here, because he's like, nah, I'm done with all this. Knocked all the autographs off the table, fucking dragged the table all the way to the ring so he can have an impromptu contract signing. And the aggressiveness on the mic, the story that he told on the mic was great. The story that Mello told on the mic was fantastic. It is great to see two black men fighting for the NXT championship in the main event of NXT next week in a pay-per-view / special like show type thing. It's great to see. It's really cool. This is the kind of Wesley. I know you said Wesley isn't doing it for you, but this Wesley, if he's just going to be this aggressive and stop like being like, oh, you know, I just want to put on good matches and I'm going to be a fighting champion type of thing. Yeah, you were the longest reigning champion, but you weren't like a memorable North American champion. This Wesley, I like. This intensity.
Want to match shitty kids.
I made fun of him literally his entire North American title reign. Literally, like I called him Sideshow Bob at one point. Like I was like, this is the least impressive, unfascinating champion I've ever seen in NXT.
Dom Mysterio right now is a better champion in his short stint than Wesley was.
I feel like Wesley, and my biggest gripe with him the whole time, I very recently went back to the first episode I ever did with you guys. Because I was trying to, Matt and I were talking about it one day and I said I found it was February something 2022. And I said in that episode that my biggest takeaway was that MSK was the Young Bucks of NXT Black and Gold at that time. And I still feel like Wesley is like that in a lot of ways. The dude ignores all the rules of a wrestling match. And I get in 2023, rules don't matter. But I feel like you can't tell a viable story if you just ignore every rule that's ever been written for the sport you perform in.
I understand. It's a lot of the same criticisms and gripes people have about like Young Buck matches. They feel like it's just a spot fest.
It is.
And I get that. Sometimes you can have those kind of matches, but I feel like sometimes they do tell the story. It's just told in a different way. I'm not excusing anything. I'm not saying I will say this. Like I said, you're right. Wesley does need to be better in the storytelling aspect of a wrestling match, but I think he can get there. I think he'll be fine. Especially if we
better.
Yeah. NXT is the right place for him at the moment.
I'm spitting whatever the fuck is going on with Dana Brooke. Her losing to Blair Davenport, the hissy fits, her trying to be a mentor. Like, it was working for me, and then the last 2 weeks, it's slowly falling off the rails, and I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I also wrote down, I just wrote under my spits.
Like anyone that fucks with Matt Riddle gets slander. It is what it is. Tell him to get better white friends. That's not on me.
I also just wrote down Dana Brooke. Just spit Dana Brooke. So I'm right here with you. Pretty much everything you said.
As a matter of fact, the 2 white people that this dude has fucked with in NXT, I'm not about. So I know Will likes the other rascal that's now over in TNA and is dating Gigi Dolan, which is another reason why I fuck that guy. So he's got 2.
What's his name? Wesley and
nobody cares.
Nash
Trailer
Carter.
Park King.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm anti being friends with white people in general, except for me, right? Because I'm your teddy bear, and you want me to eat your picnic basket.
Taekwon's gonna lose his mind when he realizes I'm Jewish.
Yeah, no, but yeah, spitting Dana Brooke and all of whatever the fuck is going on, because it was working and now it's not. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Anything Dana Brooke has not been working for me since she was part of Titus Worldwide. Like, honestly, like, she showed up in NXT and I'm literally just skipping everything. Like, the way I'm consuming my wrestling now, except for Raw, because Raw, I make an effort to watch live and SmackDown just because, I get out of work and it's the only thing that's on. But NXT and AEW, the way I will consume it is I watch it after the fact and I fast forward and skip shit that I don't care about. Dana Brooke has been skippable every single time she shows up on NXT. Now, I feel like I should do a segment now. It's like not good enough for Vince, because like some of these shows, there's so much stuff that's like, man, this was such a good show. But it's because I skipped like half of the bad stuff that was on there.
I used to do that with my wife. We had Not Good Enough for Kate.
Really?
And it was all the stuff that she would fast forward through that she didn't want to watch, and why she didn't want to watch it.
I'll make a list next week of all the stuff that isn't good enough for Vince.
I know a lot of people who say that their vibrators are their best friend, Taekwon, so you can try and hide it, but you love me.
Vibrators are friends. They're here to assist you.
Will, spit or swallow my vibrator.
Oh, I'm swallowing your vibrator. And I'm also going to swallow the only thing from Impact Wrestling on my list because it's topical from what we were just talking about. Speaking of the Rascals, they got an Impact Tag Title shot coming up. They just heard that last night. The Rascals are going to get an Impact Tag Title shot. So that's it. I think that what they're doing right now, they're a viable option in the tag team division for that tag titles. If you look at the Motor City Machine Guns with Chris Sabin being out and some of the other stuff going on, I think that pushing the Rascals, even if they don't take the titles, it's still going to be a good feud and a good build. And it'll be a spot fest, but it'll still be okay.
It makes sense because when MSK were in Impact Wrestling as the Rascals, they were essentially the Young Bucks of Impact Wrestling because they were out here doing that fourth wall break stuff. The Treehouse segments were fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world to try to push them. Trey Miguel is a great talent, and anything to push him and put him in a spot to succeed and just be on everybody's television screen is like the way to go.
And they beat Rich Swann and Sami Callihan, so that's not any pushovers. Those are both two staples on the Impact. They're both former world champions.
Should I just go and let you guys have your? I feel like I'm interrupting.
Hey Vince,
it's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to say it real quick. You ready?
Okay,
I'm done. So hey Vince, spit or swallow.
It's okay.
Unfortunately, that's not how that works. So I'm also going to spit Baron Corbin on NXT because
that was nice.
Again, because you used to jump the line, there is no order. It's whatever order Matt does it in. And since Will tried to make you next, I'm the host. I'm going again.
Anarchy.
You can't call people soft ass little bitches and continuously lose matches, especially on NXT while trying to rebuild yourself. That's not how that works. Also, I may not make fun of him for the way he looks because of everything that came out about his upbringing and the struggles that he had, but I'm still not feeling Von Wagner in any way, shape, or form.
I'm spitting the fact that Vic Joseph said it's like we have a table for one, and it's gonna be like, God, why am I trying to blank on people's names? Baron Corbin versus Von Wagner next week at Heatwave. And I thought, oh, it's a table match. This makes sense. Von Wagner likes to put people through table, like his name is Bubba Ray Dudley. And then I saw it was just a regular singles match. So I'm like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. Make it a tables match. You can give Von a credible win in a tables match without making his opponent look bad. But I think he's just kind of like the buffer, so they can get Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin eventually.
I don't know. Like I said, Corbin can't keep losing and shit on NXT, especially, and then come out and call people soft little bitches. That's not how that works.
No, like I'm still mad that they gave him his lone wolf gimmick for one night and went and gave him whatever the fuck he's doing now.
Yeah.
He's just Happy Corbin without like the money gimmick.
Yeah. Vince, spit or swallow.
Oh, okay. We have some decorum around here. We were talking about.
All right, Will, you want to?
I can go.
Go ahead, Vince.
We were talking about the North American Championship, Wesley and whatnot, and there was a great North American candidate in Mustafa Ali. This vignette, his campaign trail that he's about to go on, saying that like in Ali you can trust. The vignette was fun. It was very unique. I like how it looked like little white girls were like watching his campaign speech on their iPad, and we were watching on the TV screen. It's like, you can reach out for my hand, and it goes to like a graphic of like someone reaching out to someone else's hand. It was so like over the top that it was so fucking good. Mustafa Ali just like was full embracing that gimmick. I don't want Dom Mysterio to lose that North American title, but if he has to, God damn it, in Ali we can trust. That is a North American Championship candidate that I want. Like then they show the United States the United States flag. They show the Canadian flag. Then they show the Mexican flag. I'm like, you're representing all North America, Ali. I like it. It was a great vignette. I liked it.
Meh.
Really? You didn't like it? I thought you would enjoy it.
Meh.
Oh my god, you don't like fun.
Where did
I do like fun.
Where did Ali get drafted, Vince?
He's a free agent.
Oh, was he one of the free agents? Okay,
yeah. So
then my joke doesn't work here.
Yeah, him and Baron Corbin were free agents, which is why they ended up migrating over to NXT.
And him and Baron Corbin both needed to be on NXT, so they would be on wrestling that I don't watch.
I didn't know you felt this strongly about Mustafa Ali.
I like Mustafa Ali, but I think he'd be better in New Japan or AAA, where his style of work would get over. I think he'd
be great in Impact.
He would be good in Impact.
Yes. Not AEW. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Ritter is left the building. It's just me.
Do I even need to be here?
I mean,
where did your shirt go?
Listen, just like Buddy Matthews is going to be watching from the closet in his own honeymoon suite, watching Dom Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, you can watch me and Will just enjoying each other's company while you sit there in the closet.
Will, spit or swallow?
You asked me, hey, should it just be us, or are you cool with Will coming on? I'm like, honestly, I like Will. Like, I'm cool with whatever. You decide. You chose this.
In the past, you have said that you like doing shows, just us, you miss it. So before I re-invited Will, because he was supposed to do Saturday with me, I wanted to make sure that wasn't what you were looking forward to, and I wanted to clear it with you. And you said, yeah, you're good either way. So I gave Will the option. I said, if you want to come on, you can come on. If you don't, you don't. It's all good.
Is that gonna abuse me nicely? Jeez.
And I'm never not coming if Matt's in the room with me. We've established that.
I think we're just jerking each other off at this point.
I think you two are jerking each other off, and I'm sitting in the corner watching. I think that's what's going on.
It's okay. You'll get used to it.
Will, spit or swallow?
I'm swallowing something from the indie wrestling world, and I know Matt's going to be like, God damn it, Will, how many of these do you have? And my entire list is stuff Matt doesn't watch. I'm just kidding. But there is something fascinating coming in the indie wrestling world right now with Beyond Wrestling. They're from Massachusetts, the White Eagle. And the guy who runs it, Drew Cordera, has said that Alec Price, the new IWTV Indie Wrestling World Champion, will not be defending the Indie Wrestling title anywhere except Beyond Wrestling in Massachusetts. So the whole concept of him establishing this title to represent the Indies and then not letting his champion defend the belt elsewhere is kind of like claiming to be the best in the Indies and then not competing anywhere else except for your promotion.
Hold on, correct me if I'm wrong, because I actually saw some of this, and I was interested.
Yeah.
From what I saw, and my understanding of it was, he said that the championship will only be defended at his promotion against his guys. Yeah. Not that he could not go to other promotions and defend it, just on his shows. He is only having that belt defended against his guys. He's not bringing anyone into his promotion to have that belt defended. So I think, could be wrong, I think he can still go out to other promotions and do shit.
I typically would go, you're absolutely right. But Drew is currently handling all of Alec's bookings. So if Drew says Alec's not going to go anywhere right now, he's the final say unfortunately, of where that kid is going. And Alec himself even said he hates the fact that other people are making decisions for him and not asking him what he wants to do.
That's like Pitbull being Mr. Worldwide and only performing in Vermont. Why Vermont of all places?
Because I'm talking about Massachusetts. It's topical. Learn geography. No, I don't even
pay attention to anything outside the Midwest.
But I think if you're going to have the IWTV Indie Wrestling World Champion, you should let that world champion defend that title everywhere.
I agree. True.
Yeah. So I swallow Alec Price, but spit the Beyond Wrestling stuff.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to swallow Chelsea Green. And
yes,
the whole, like, her search for a partner, her talking to Adam Pearce, offering essentially to, like, host a live tag team partner casting couch, where she was just going to sit down, interview, and fuck a bunch of girls and see who she, scissored best. Disco Ninja sex parties, like whenever you cast your new tag team partner, we want a shot. We're ready. We're good. Piper Niven comes out of nowhere, rocks Katana Chance, tells Chelsea, "I'm your tag team partner." She's like, "Well, actually, I wanted to, sample a few of the No, I'm your tag team partner," and takes the belt from her and just total dom Piper Niven.
That's Zaddy energy right there for sure.
Yeah. Straight up Zaddy energy, total dom, Piper Niven coming in. I'm your partner. Give me that belt.
And it's going to be hilarious too, because it's going to be like a dynamic where Piper's probably going to win the majority of these matches where they're having to defend the titles. And Chelsea is going to let that go to her head. And it's going to be just like when Luchasaurus won the TNT championship and Christian paraded around with it like he had accomplished this, when in reality he had done nothing. So it's going to be hilarious content. I love delusional heels. I think they're one of the best kind of heels is to have delusional heels. So I'm a for Chelsea. I wasn't feeling her initially, but you know what? I love it. I like how she how she turned a negative into a positive. And I don't know if this was the plan, if they were going to just like strip her of the titles and do another championship match or whatever, because they've done that so many times. Chelsea did do this like Chelsea's talent show thing online. Yeah, the casting couch, whatever. She did it online, and then they went ahead and redid it on Raw on TV. So maybe they saw what she did. I was like, okay, this is good. We got to keep the titles on her. We'll figure things out. And they created it, something very unique. I'm with it.
Here's my thing, and this is why I love this. While personality-wise, Chelsea and Sonya fit well together, and Sonya's a fairly good in-ring wrestler. She's not like one of the top in-ring competitors. Piper Niven is amazing in-ring. She's a pretty good character worker. She's entertaining on the mic. She's better than some people, but she's not like the best. So now you have this woman who is okay in the ring, but a fantastic character, with a woman who is fantastic in the ring, driving the in-ring for that tag team in Piper Niven. And I cannot wait to see what Piper Niven and Disco Ninja Sex Party can do in a tag team match, with Chelsea Green being Chelsea Green in the build up to and outside on the apron, just causing havoc and making the extra entertaining.
I mean, it sucks for Sonya to be the Matt Ritter watching from the outside as this amazing relationship blossoms in front of you. But, I think she'll be okay. She'll
like
come
it
back.
when you watch.
I don't mind it.
Vince, spit or swallow.
Yeah, I was waiting. I wasn't saying anything.
I didn't know if Will wanted to mention anything because he didn't really. I mean, he did, but he didn't really touch on Piper. Because
I love
Allison's
Piper
watching,
Niven.
so he can't touch on Piper while Allison's watching.
Speaking of doubles, I'm going to swallow the fact that I get a double dose of Dirty Dom Mysterio every week now, because I get him on Monday nights and now I get him on Tuesdays. And I like the segment that he had right there with Rhea Ripley. I just like seeing him on my TV screen. I've already said he's already feels like a more important champion than Wes Lee. He's in NXT. It's allowing him to have like more focus on him without it being mostly on Finn and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Because when he's on NXT, he's the North American champion there. It allows it to be centered around him, similar to last week when he was in the main event versus Dragon Lee with his dad at ringside and stuff. So I like this. I think Dom pulling double duty with NXT and Raw, I think it's a great thing. He'll eventually drop the title and it's going to put over someone else. So it's good for him. It's good for NXT, and it's good for me.
Wait, I have no idea what Taekwon's talking about.
That's what I'm confused about.
Lyra and Dragon Lee versus Dom and Rhea. I am for that shit. I am really digging the Lyra Rhea shit in the feud. Dragon Lee is a fantastic in-ring competitor. Dom is Dominic Mysterio. I'm not going to sit here and say dude's not entertaining. I'm not going to suck him off like you and the Get Yo podcast do, because I don't think he's as good as you guys make him out to be, but he's entertaining as shit.
I feel like the thing that turned you on him was when you saw that video of when they asked him, it's like, do you think you and your dad will ever reconcile? And it's like, you know what? I think about it every single day, but he's no longer with us. R.I.P. Eddie. I just do what I can. He's acknowledging the canon that you wanted WWE to acknowledge of Eddie being his real father.
Not just that. I mean, everything with him and Rhea is entertaining. That video where Rhea she's like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then. But my thing is, I can't get behind him as this guy that you guys talk about, because you treat him like he's like this really cool badass when really he's just Rhea's sub. Like,
no,
he should be in a gimp match. He should be in a gimp mask getting whipped. Like, I can't put him over as this guy like you are, because he's literally, his name is Dom and he's her sub. And that's what's entertaining for me.
You know what's the great comparison, and you weren't watching at the time, but it was Glam Morella when Santina Morella and the Glamazon Beth Phoenix wore an item. That's a good comparison. Obviously, there's the inspiration of China and Eddie. Eddie was a little bit more like legit in the ring, obviously, but I think it just works.
In the ring, Eddie wasn't as. Dom is entertaining, but Dom is entertaining because Dom is a little bitch. Eddie was never China's little bitch.
No, of course not. It's a different dynamic. It got inspiration from it, but it's not the same thing. It's completely its own thing. They have their own separate chemistry. I fucking love it. And I'm just glad I get to see them twice. You mentioned Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. I will say her segment with Dragon Lee made me actually, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I kind of like Lyra. She's kind of all right. Because they're like, oh, we have to get like on the same, like wavelength. We got to get along. We have to be a good tag team. And Dragon Lee completely misunderstood. I was like, you trying to get me in trouble? I'm married here. You know that, right? It's like, no, not like that. So it was just like a charming, very charming fucking segment that they had.
I really love Lyra Valkyria. I don't know what it is about her, but the more I see her, the more I am entertained and intrigued by everything that she is.
I don't like her shoulder
Wings?
piece wings. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like the wings on the
She's a
wings.
Valkyrie. That's her thing.
I understand.
Like she's the Viking Raiders if they were cool.
Lyra Valkyrie has a really similar gimmick to Taya Valkyrie when she
Valkyria.
was there. I know, but what I'm saying is this is another WWE thing where they're kind of taking somebody else's gimmick that didn't get over there in their company and making it work.
That's not true because Taya's gimmick in NXT was more
Frankie
Tiffany
Monet.
Stratton does. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what Tiffany Stratton does, not what Lyra's doing.
But what Lyra's doing is very reminiscent of who Taya Valkyrie was in Lucha Libre and when she was in MLW and some of that stuff with the big, like, elaborate entrances and even her name. I just feel like this is it may be a stretch. I may have my tinfoil hat on here.
I think this is who she was in NXT UK too. Like the whole thing was her name wasn't Lyra Valkyria in NXT UK. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was Aphie Valkyrie. It was straight up.
Okay.
It was Aphie Valkyrie, and the whole thing was she's like a Viking female warrior. Like she's a Valkyrie. That's been her whole thing. That's the feathers and all of that. That's the whole gimmick. So it's Valhalla if Valhalla wasn't a dirty bitch.
When whites steal from others, it's plagiarism. Y'all steal from us, it's fair use. You know what? I'm not going to sit here and deny claims because you know what? They're not targeted towards me. All I'm going to say is I don't personally like it. I think it's a little hokey. I think I like her as a person. She seems very charming. Like that. Like I said, that segment with Dragon Lee, like I liked it. It was great chemistry they had there. And I'm looking forward to the tag match next week.
And the fact that she's like, she was inspired by Rhea, but she's also not about Rhea's bullshit and calling Rhea out. She's becoming the person Rhea said she needed to be while also not stooping to Rhea's level. Like I'm all about that. So
she's not letting her be Dom.
Will spit or swallow.
I'm going to swallow Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. The build up there. I loved them kind of meeting in the ring and the shaking hands and Shinsuke pretending to be it. Then he turns around and, I like dirty heel Shinsuke Nakamura. It's very New Japan when he had the IWGP IC title. You know what I mean? That larger than life rock star bad guy. He does whatever he wants to because he's the baddest man in the company. And they're finally making Shinsuke look like that again. So I'm here for it. Swallow Shinsuke Nakamura.
He's very smug about the way he carries himself recently. Yeah. And I fucking love it because that's what made Shinsuke in New Japan so great was the flamboyantness of his attire and Candace and just presentation. But also the fact that when he was in the ring, he was a fucking badass. He'd fuck you up. But he was so smug about it, which was so great. And I like that we're getting this. I'm with you there. That was one of my only 3 swallows that I had. One of my 3 swallows that I had was Shinsuke and Seth. The segment was fantastic. Seth said most of the words. Shinsuke didn't need to say anything, but he did say something into Seth's ear, whispered into his ear. Have no idea what he said. But it shook Seth enough for Shinsuke to get a Kinshasa afterwards. So, any thoughts on what he said?
No.
Can't even. All right.
I think he said if you go to Creatia World or adamandeve.creationworld.com, you get 50% off with free shipping on one item. Because who doesn't want to spice up their love life in the bedroom? And if you want that, or if you want some Dubby to help with your energy, or you are like Vince, because you can get cat stuff on dog.com. It's not just strictly dog stuff. You got a new furry friend that you're looking to buy and take care of and get the best products for. We've got ads and sponsors for all of that. If you don't want to watch the show with ads, we have an ad-free tier over at patreon.com/creationworld, where for $1 you can come check out Return to Wrestling, which Will was asking us about earlier. Our next episode will be dropping this month, where we get into 1998 WCW, and also Multiverse with Travis and Mara's over there. Both those shows just cost you $1. If you subscribe to the higher tier for the ad-free version, you get all of the $1 tier stuff plus the extra perks, including all of our shows ad-free. But since you're watching us live and our sponsors are dope, I got my shipment from Adam and Eve a couple days ago, and I can't wait to use it tomorrow night. Go ahead and please support our sponsors.
Spice things up in the bedroom. Then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, adamandeve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? Then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part, you can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top-rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try DUBBY, the ultimate energy source. DUBBY is a powerful clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, DUBBY can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, DUBBY is made with high quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash jitters or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix DUBBY with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to w.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code Creatia at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at w.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
Listen, Vince, I'm doing this solely for you. Also, I don't know how they did that. Sir, are you fucking with me?
I'm trying to help. But you forget that I can help and assist, and you anticipate that I'm just going to sit here and just look pretty.
That's all I hired you for, was sit here and look pretty. Anyway, this is for you, because I'm going to swallow everything Judgment Day, Cody, and Sammy, because I cannot deny that the Judgment Day is the top thing on Monday Night Raw. They are the bloodline of Monday Night Raw. They may not have the championship. Seth has it. But if Cody isn't going to be taking that title off Roman and we need him to feud with somebody, there is nobody better for Cody to start feuding with than the top act on Monday Night Raw, which is the Judgment Day.
Correct. Yeah. I'm with you there. You guys actually took my only 3 swallows from Raw that I had, which was Seth and Shinsuke, Chelsea Green, and everything Judgment Day.
Really?
Yeah, those are the only 3 swallows I have.
I have one more swallow and 1 spit.
I have 1 spit. The opening of Raw I thought was great because they're obviously, they just start off the show. Damian Priest is like, no, you know what? Fuck it. Like, Finn should be out here. He should be here with us. Rhea's trying to keep things closed doors. It's like, nah, they're not dumb. They know what's going on. There's a problem with the Judgment Day, and it's Finn Balor. And then, of course, JD McDonough comes out being Finn's advocate, apparently. And he's trying to mend fences here. Whether it's ulterior motives or not, we have yet to discover. To be determined. The segment where they actually have backstage a conversation with Finn, Judgment Day, and then JD kind of puts in his 2 cents on my honestly. That briefcase is what's coming between the two of you. Just saying. Walks away. He comes out at the end after Judgment Day already took the L because Damian Priest slid the briefcase underneath Finn, and Finn's facial reaction was hilarious to me. Cody being a babyface that isn't afraid to cheat. I love that. Take all the shortcuts you want, Cody. You are white in America. You get them all. God damn it.
He's got that privilege.
Yeah, he's got that white privilege. You use it, Cody Rhodes. Finish your story. And then afterwards, they still look dominant because they beat up Cody. They beat up Sami Zayn. JD was on the outside watching everything unfold like Matt is usually watching me and Will conversating, like following each other's eyes, Stuff like that. It's all good stuff.
Why do you think I took my shirt off? I got tired of you two flirting in front of me. I had to get the attention back on me.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what it is about this, but I actually am warming up to JD McDonough. I think that JD should be in JD Judgment Day. Include him in there. If he helps mend fences and helps be that buffer between him and Damian Priest, I'm all for it. And if you're going to keep adding people, Bloodline added Solo. Bloodline added Sammy. Why can't Judgment Day add another member?
I don't give a fuck about JD double penetration.
Listen, he's double penetrating the Judgment Day at the moment, and I think it's working because, his involvement, he just gave and offered Sami Zayn as, penance or, sacrifice to the Judgment Day to, beat them up. I like it. I like the story. It's the most intriguing story on Raw right now, aside from Gunther becoming the longest reigning IC champion. JD joins JD while listening to JD.
It's a JDception. It's a really great story. It's like they have this group of people that are all really similar to one another. And then you have this outsider who's just a little bit different, but really wants to be part of the group.
Kind of like
Wait.
how I felt when I first saw the Smackin It Raw podcast.
Yeah.
Felt like an outsider,
Uh-huh.
but I really
You
wanted
were.
to be in. I'm the JD man.
I was more so being a smartass about them pretty much again using the same story they did with the Bloodline with Sami Zayn. They're pretty much just doing this in a Judgment Day coat of paint.
At least with Judgment Day, it makes sense because JD McDonough and Finn Balor actually have
a history. I'll give you that. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. At least it makes sense there.
Mm-hmm. And they might not actually go there. I'm not even 100% certain that they will add JD McDonough to Judgment Day.
He'll just be the honorary use of JD.
Yeah, like he'll be the Will Gray of JD.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's
JD will be the Will Gray of JD.
Yeah.
Okay. Will, spit or swallow.
I'm pretty much through Raw and NXT, so I'm going to hit my first Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Yeah, my first spit from Dynamite, and
there
were a few, but the big one for me, and I'm gonna go ahead and knock the big one out, was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match.
I was waiting for someone to touch that.
Okay, so here's the thing, and what I'm spitting about it is the fact that we got a very different match than you guys did on TV. Okay, I watched it the next day at home. And I rewatched the match specifically because people who were in the building hated it. People on Twitter were like, I don't see the big deal. It was kind of entertaining.
I don't know who said that because all I saw was this sucks. This is worse than the Pitch Black match. And it was on TV and in the arena.
Continue.
It was absolutely terrible in the arena. At least on TV, in a very TK way, they tried to make it make sense. It didn't get executed in the arena, which I think should be the precedent and the most important than what is delivered for the television. Because the people who paid to sit there and watch it, as much as they hate to admit it, are more important than the people watching on television.
I think you're right there. They should cater it towards the live crowd.
Bingo.
And
That's
try
what
to
I'm spitting the most.
And try to capture as much of that experience for the TV viewing audience. But the focus should be like it'd be like when they had, like, for instance, like a lot of people were like praising the Chicago street fight between Ciampa and Gargano in TakeOver Chicago. From my point of view, I couldn't really see much of the match because I was sitting like on the TV side. The very last row.
I saw a lot of the match. So
I was on the floor. I was on the floor TV side, the very last row. I'm a 5'7" Mexican. There's only so much I can see. They kept going on when they were in the ring. I can see when they were by ringside. I can kind of see when they were going out and doing extracurricular activities. I couldn't really see much.
There was a screen. You could watch
sometimes it would show up. Sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes
I was
it would.
there. I don't remember that.
You probably weren't looking at the screen because you were probably having a good view of it. But when I went back and watched the match on TV, oh no, this was a great match. This was fantastic. I just didn't have the best viewing experience for it. From my
the match sucked. The participants in the match sucked. Singh in overalls because Texas Chainsaw Massacre sucked. Karen Jarrett's acting sucked. The fake blood sucked. It all sucked. The involvement of Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy and Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh and all of the bullshit sucked. The shitty props that were supposed to be like bones because Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the decoration, that it all sucked. However, I popped for the cameo of Leatherface.
I figured you would.
It off just because. Why the fuck not? I popped for the fact that as a horror fan, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was plastered all over the ring in the arena. And I popped for the Leatherface championship belt that Jeff Jarrett has.
Would you buy that belt if it was available?
I absolutely buy that belt. And I put it on the wall behind me. Fuck yeah, I would.
I knew you would. So, me personally,
somebody should buy me that belt.
Well, we'll start a trust fund, right? I mean, you know what? We'll ask Katie. She's got that Kinder Bueno money. You know, she can go ahead and fork over a few bucks for Matt.
Sub to Twitch, sub to the Patreon. Give me some money so I can go buy that belt.
There you go. When I saw that this was happening, I thought this was ridiculous. I saw that it was both the Jeffs that I don't like currently in AEW or in wrestling in general. So I'm like, I really don't give a fuck about this match. So this match was not good enough for Vince. But I watched the first entrance because, you know, the Hardy Boys theme song is a fucking bop to this fucking day. And I will headbang to it. I'm gonna give props to Jeff's makeup. I thought it was kind of cool. I like his face paint on Dynamite. I thought that was the only cool thing he did. I popped for Leatherface, and I only popped for Leatherface because I knew Matt popped for it. So I popped through osmosis popping from him. So
you popped for me popping?
Yeah, I popped for you popping. There you go. You know,
that happens a lot more than people at home know.
Yeah. But yeah, and then aside from the Leatherface cameo, you know what would have been perfect if underneath the Leatherface mask was fucking was Chainsaw Charlie. If it was Chainsaw Charlie, Terry Funk.
Here's how we fix this. You call it a Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match, right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you call it the Texas Dodo Masquerade or something.
Well, that is also an option for what I'm about to say, and would also be equally entertaining. You get rid of all of the stupid, extra, gimmicky prop bullshit and the backstage shit. You send Abaddon and Anna Jay out there and let them just have a death match. And at one point, Abaddon grabs a chainsaw and comes for Anna Jay with the chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre gimmick prop for this that you need. It would make sense with Abaddon. Anna Jay, hardcore Anna Jay, has proven that she can really do this kind of hardcore deathmatch shit. We know Abaddon can. Abaddon is in the realm of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm sure she would have pulled out a really cool look for this, like Jeff tried. I'm not going to put Jeff Hardy over ever. It's just not going to happen.
It's okay. I wasn't expecting it.
I'm just, for the people listening. That's the best I can do. That's how you could have fixed this. Just let them have a straight up death match. The only gimmick you really needed was either Leatherface coming out with the chainsaw or Abaddon taking a chainsaw from somebody dressed up as Leatherface, something like that. Just let those two women go out and have a fucking death match. We didn't need Jeff Jarrett. We didn't need Jeff Hardy. And that probably would have been a far better, more entertaining match than what we got on TV, minus all the fake blood and gimmicky props and bullshit.
Yes, and yes. The only good thing about it was the Leatherface title, Leatherface himself. And that was about it.
And the logos in the ring and on the fucking, because I know people were like, oh, why is Mountain Dew? Like, fuck you. All right. They paid for it. That's why Mountain Dew was all over the fucking ring and everything. And that's why Texas Chainsaw Massacre was all over the ring and everything, because they fucking paid. And the other swallow along with this is the money that they made from the promotion of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff, as well as the proceeds from the show, went to support the Maui Relief Fund and the fires going over in Hawaii. So shout out to Tony for doing all of this, pushing Fight for the Fallen forward so that he could take that money and donate it to the relief fund.
I'm not going to sit here and I can't talk right now. I'm not going to talk good about Tony right now.
I'm going to do it again, so.
You're not going to talk good about him?
No, I don't want to. I refuse to. I refuse to say any nice things about him.
It's okay. I've got something nice to say about him here in a minute. But that was Will. So Vince, spit or swallow.
Okay. I'm going to finish off NXT here, and I'm going to swallow the wise words of Grandpa Garza and the love he has for his grandchildren and the wise words that he passed off to both Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. When they had their match and it looked like they were going to do a split a few weeks ago, I was a little bummed out that they're going to break up a tag team like just as they got to NXT. But the little text message exchange they had last week, the the stuff about their lineage here, them about being serious. It's like when things are going your way, when things are going right, you have your family. When life throws curveballs at you and throws obstacles your way, you still have family. Family is everything, you know. And it was great stuff. I like the impact of it. I like the message behind it, and there's representation there. So Angel Garza, I love. Humberto Carrillo, I love. If they're gonna be more serious characters, they're gonna like lose the Lotharios, like Playboy style of their gimmick. All for it. Let them be more serious competitors in the ring, because in the ring, they're fantastic. They're incredible.
I agree. The fact that they played up on the family heritage, the fact that they used everything that was going on to kind of rebuild and reshape what they're going to be going forward, and wanting to honor their family and all of that. I'm all about it.
One thing I will say, please do not lose the breakaway pants for Angel Garza. I still want Angel Garza to rip off his pants and have tighter pants than Dragon Lee does. That's all I want.
I like their in-ring work. You can like their pants. That's cool.
I mean, both.
It's a fair trade.
No, I like their pants, but I like when he takes them off. It's part of the gimmick. It's part of the show. It's like the whole pizzazz, the pomp and circumstance that I like in my wrestling.
I like when Matt takes his pants off.
Yeah,
and then we wrestle.
I am spitting the fact that I have come on this show with evidence that the curse of Riddle is real. Not theory, not speculation, but direct causation between people teaming with Matt Riddle and bad things happening to their career. Every single person in WWE that is thrown in with Matt Riddle and been his partner, it's not tinfoil hat time. This is facts. Has had bad things happen. We just saw it with KO and Sammy. They're the latest example. Yet Drew McIntyre decided to ignore me like so many before him, and is putting his career, his body, and his future on the line by joining into a tag team with that walking cancer.
Yes, I agree. Correct. Technically, Drew just kind of let this shit happen. At no point did he really agree, except for the part where he's like, if you can't find anyone, then sure, I'll step up and I'll help you out.
He walked out and he went along with whatever the stupid fucking name, the
Glass Bros.
Yeah, that dumb shit. He was about it. He even said he was going to go for the tag team titles with Riddle. He signed his fate.
Okay, question here, because this is a genuine question that I want answered, and it pertains to the curse of Riddle and its after effects.
What do you mean? What about Seth? Nothing happened to him. Seth went on live TV and basically called Riddle a terrible father that his family doesn't want around, and that's why his wife left him.
And what happened? He became the world champion.
Exactly.
Of Raw. So, like,
you denounce him, and now you're world champion.
Exactly how it works. So, okay. So what if this is a ruse and this is going to lead to a Drew McIntyre heel turn where he beats the shit out of Riddle? Does that negate the positive association with Riddle that he's had recently?
It depends on how long he allows this ruse to go on, because we do know that there is a causation effect between the severity of what happens to you and the amount of time you fuck with Matt Riddle, whereas for a short period of time, you may just get a shitty gimmick change to a broken fucking back and almost the end of your career, depending on the length of time you spend at this man's side.
You know what? He was associating himself positively with Keith Lee. Now he has gone crazy. Keith Lee has
white hair and he's hanging out in AEW doing dumb shit and barely getting on TV.
Yeah, he's in the tag team with Dustin Rhodes called the Naturally Limitless.
Naturally Limitless. Yeah.
Naturally Limitless.
Exactly.
No, he looks like he's
and
going
they're like
through
real life best
crisis.
friends. So The only thing that saved Damian Priest, despite them being real life best friends, is the fact that Damian Priest actively beat the shit out of him recently and squashed that shit. And that's why he got Money in the Bank.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's not a tinfoil hat theory, Will. It's fact.
Question.
There are lines
I
drawn.
know.
Has
I
there
get it.
been,
I know. I know.
Has there been positive associations between Cody and Matt Riddle?
No.
Haven't they
sure.
teamed together in some
No.
way, shape, or form?
No.
Because that could be the reason why he didn't win over Roman at WrestleMania.
No, that was because he smashed a throne on AEW and Triple H was not going to just let that shit slide.
No.
Triple H is a lot of things, and one of them's fucking petty. Plain and simple.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cody Rhodes tagged with Riddle. 1, 2, 3 different times.
Prior to WrestleMania?
2 prior to no. All after WrestleMania. The April 25th, April 15th, and April 16th.
Which is
All
why.
after.
Well, I think some of those are house shows, non-canonical television.
Raw.
However,
he did it on Raw.
On Raw, which is why his Universal title is on SmackDown and he's over on Raw, far the fuck away. And Brock fucked him up and
in front of his mama. In front of his own mama.
Brody Loads exploded right in front of Cody's mama's face.
I mean, if he gets another torn titty, then we know why.
Will spit or swallow?
Oh,
wow, I went on my Riddle rant and everyone just stopped watching.
Allison's still here.
My logic is not flawed. You are incorrect.
Well, I'm gonna jump to Rampage, because the rest of my dynamite notes really just say swallow all of it, because I was there, like spitting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and swallowing the rest of Dynamite just because it was a cool show. But the Commander Ray Phoenix match on Rampage, I tweeted on Wednesday night that it sucked that you guys had to wait till Friday to see it. And then tonight I watched it again and I was like, that match was still a fucking 4.5-star banger of a match.
I have to go ahead and check it out. I don't really watch Rampage though.
Just that match alone was worth it.
I don't even know if I still have it like set on my YouTube TV DVR anymore.
They didn't show it on TV, but after the match live, like Ray Phoenix took his mask off and gave it to Commander in the ring. Like took what's his name? The assistant, Jose the assistant, took his jacket off, put it over Ray Phoenix's head. Ray pulled his mask off from underneath the jacket, gave it to Commander, and left like with the jacket over his face, covering his head. Like after the match, that's how good of a match it was.
So Commander's going to be Ray Phoenix Jr. It's the way it works in Lucha Libre.
Eventually, yeah. When Ray Phoenix retires, Commander will be the next Ray Phoenix. Yeah.
Ray Phoenix can be Pentagon Jr.
Pentagon Jr., and now and then Commander becomes Ray Phoenix.
There you go. No. He'll be the son of Ray Phoenix. Because sometimes they
El Hijo de Rey.
El Hijo de Ray Phoenix. There you go.
El Hijo de FedEx. Vince, spit or swallow?
Let's see here.
I also did not watch that match tonight, so I wanted to, but I didn't get a chance to.
I'm gonna go over to the AEW side of things as well, and I didn't like the little vignette they did prior, but I'm gonna swallow the promo in the in-ring segment that MJF and Adam Cole had. I thought it was all
fantastic.
What sometimes I think it's just a little too hokey for me, and I'm not a fan of it.
You like Chase U. You can't call anything anyone does hokey when you're out here standing for Chase U every week. Let's be clear on that.
I didn't like the whole kangaroo thing.
I'm a big MJF
hilarious.
mark, and I thought the kangaroo kick shit was a little hokey.
I enjoyed it.
It was funny. I just think if he tries to do it in a match, like he will no longer can claim to be the most serious technical professional wrestler in their business.
That's kind of where I'm at with it, because either give me like goofy bestie like MJF, or give me like the cynical, vindictive, vicious MJF.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we got that promo battle back and forth between Adam Cole and MJF, it was a great story that each of them told individually about the meaning for this main event match and why it's so important to them. I thought it was great. It really made that main event match, that title match, feel like the most important match in wrestling leading up to All In. I thought it was great. It wasn't terrible. I'm not sitting here and saying that the segment, the vignettes with the kangaroo kick stuff was terrible. It wasn't. I just didn't care because I don't give a fuck about Aussie Open. And it's like, I don't know, it was fine. It wasn't terrible. I'm not spitting it. I'm just gonna gargle it and then just swallow it all together once we get to the in-ring action stuff. And then also, again, like the more teasing of Adam Cole being the one that turns on MJF, because that's what needs to happen. You guys said it last week. It needs to be Adam Cole that turns on MJF. I don't want to hear all these sob stories about why he's the way he is. I want to see proof visually as to why he is going to be this little piece of shit, like the rat bastard that everybody says he is, because he opens up his heart and gets stumped on and super kicked in Panama Sunrise.
And it looks like that's where we're going. See, we prepped for Aussie Open by going to Outback Steakhouse, studying YouTube videos of kangaroos, and going full on Crocodile Dundee, which I absolutely fucking enjoyed. That was hilarious. Kangaroo punches and double clotheslines. They even made Tony Khan entertaining by having Tony Khan chew out MJF for the double clothesline spot behind closed doors. And I never thought in 2023 or at any point I'd say seeing Tony Khan on my TV in any way, shape, or form, he would be entertaining. And Adam and Max made him entertaining.
It was good.
On top of all of that, Roddy's still chasing.
Positive.
I know you do. Roddy's still chasing after Adam like a jealous ex. He kicks the car and hurts his foot. Vince talked about all of their stuff and their promos, and Max name dropping Cody Rhodes. Max reminds Adam that the Triple B is still the most important thing to him, even more so than his new best friend. Aussie Open jump Max and Adam like rabid kangaroos and get taken out and run before they get double clotheslined. And after all of that, Adam gets down and is lining up his shot behind Max's back. And even when they hug, if you look at Adam Cole is hugging Max while looking at the belt that's on the floor. Adam's going to turn on Max.
He has to, man.
The knife in the back, like he did Kyle O'Reilly in NXT too.
He did it to Kyle, and I think he also did it to Roddy.
It may be Roddy who I'm thinking about, yeah.
No, but he might have
get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's great. I like it. I've long have said that I enjoy the storytelling aspect of pro wrestling, and everything else is just the chocolate, like fudge and cherries and sprinkles on top of it. Like anyone can put on a great match. If I'm going live to a wrestling show, I want to see great wrestling in ring. When I'm watching on television, I want to see a story told. I want to see a story fully developed week to week. The best thing going right now for AEW is the Better Than You Baby tag team mega power story that's going to implode. And I'm here for it. And it's
the best thing on Dynamite.
Yes, especially if it goes the way that I'm hoping, that we all hope goes, when it's Adam Cole that turns on MJF, because it'd be more interesting that way. Because if MJF is the one that turns on Cole, it's going to feel like the same story he's told in the past with Sammy Guevara, Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Because much like O'Shea Jackson Jr., I believe that Collision is the best AEW produced TV show and the most overall entertaining and feels like a fucking wrestling show. And I'd say that CM Punk has a lot to do with that.
Shout out to Phil.
Shout out to Phil. I'm swallowing the last thing that I have for WWE still. Gunther and Chad, which I was surprised Vince didn't have on his list. Gunther coming out, running his mouth, Alpha Academy interrupting, Chad dropping the challenge to Vinci, beating Vinci, Kaiser running his mouth about Otis, which, as a thick white man, Maxine's dedication to Otis, despite Kaiser trying to get in her pants, I respect that. I love that. I love that interaction right there. Like she is about Otis, and I love a woman about Otis. Gable gets the win. Gunther ends up defeating Otis, catches a German from Chad after the match, and the inevitable straight up, not 5-minute can you last challenge, but real intercontinental title match between Chad Gable and Gunther is going to fucking slap.
Yes,
100%. The reason I didn't mention it, Matt, is because aside from like the interaction between like Gunther, like basically praising up Chad Gable, talking about how he's probably the best athlete in all of WWE, only to be like, I've still accomplished more in 1 year than you have in your whole career. Like, I love that. It was great stuff. But it was all undone for me with Ludwig Kaiser over here doing the whole flirting with Maxine, because I don't care about that storyline. I'm only here for Chad. I'm only here for Chad and Gunther. Then you have Giovanni Vinci versus Chad Gable. I didn't really care about the match. I skipped it. I'm just trying to fast forward to Gable versus Gunther. Then we got a match between Gunther and Otis. I knew fucking Gunther was going to beat Otis. Otis doesn't stand a chance against Gunther. That's why.
Sure he does. He's money. He was for Mr. Money in the Bank. And it's canon, Vince. Every time Otis gets a girl, and they're always fine as fuck, some blonde-haired dude is trying to cut in and steal that woman away from him. Dolph did it with Mandy. Kaiser's doing it with Maxine. This is part of the Otis canon.
No, it's fine.
And some dude who thinks that they're better than him tries to steal that woman away, but he's got that good dick. He's got that caterpillar.
That good.
And that caterpillar tops everything.
Me personally, I think I made mention about it. I don't know if I just sent out a tweet or if I mentioned in the group chat, but I'm like, I don't know what it is about this Raw. Is if it's the Raw itself, if it was the crowd, but it wasn't even peaks and valleys. It was just like it was all.
Well, I was just doing the caterpillar because that's how he rocks it in the bed.
Oh, okay.
That's what Otis is doing to Maxine every night.
Got the perpetual wave, so it just gets going and stays going.
Rolling those hips.
Got the motion in the ocean.
Yeah.
Personally, like I said, aside from the Judgment Day stuff, aside from Seth Rollins and Shinsuke, aside from Chelsea Green's segment, I didn't care about anything else that happened on Raw. Nothing else really did anything for me. It just was just kind of there. And if I had just skipped it all, I really wouldn't be missing anything personally. That's why I didn't mention it. Next week, best believe I will be talking about Chad Gable versus Gunther, because we know they're going to be slapping each other and the match itself is going to slap.
Oh, hell yeah. That German on Gunther is fucking impressive for a 5'7" little white boy who probably couldn't see out of the second row if he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
Will, spit or swallow? I got four things left, so they're all dynamite.
They're all dynamite.
Yep.
I have one more.
I have my last one is from Rampage, and it says, "I spit Aussie Open. They were so boring. I left during the match."
Yeah, fuck Aussie Open. I don't give a fuck about it.
So
I'm not gonna watch.
That's my last spit. We did, by the fact they did almost an hour worth of Ring of Honor, 2 hours of live Dynamite, and then an hour for Rampage. So by about midway through that fourth hour, I was just like, it's kind of lame. You don't go? Like,
I had the same feeling. I had the same feeling when we went to Collision, because they did like half an hour of ROH, then they did the full live Collision, then they did almost 2 hours of ROH. The only reason we stuck around was because the main event was advertised to be a Chicago street fight between Kira Hogan and Athena, and I'm like, God damn it! If I won't sit here for that match,
No, I'll stay there for that.
Fantastic
That's a good match.
Fantastic match.
I'd watch
the
that.
visuals were fantastic too.
So Joey, I have one more. Do you want me to go, Vince?
No, let me go ahead and like blow my load real quick because it might be one of yours anyways. I'm gonna go ahead, and I know I'm gonna probably get flack from you, but I'm gonna spick the possibility that Joker Sting might be coming to Impact Wrestling.
Why?
To All Elite Wrestling.
First off, there's no possibility. He's here. That was him. He's here, and he was entertaining as all fuck.
I didn't like it because I don't know if you knew. I forgot what the fuck the dude's name. I think his name was Crimson or whatever, but it was this indie wrestler called Crimson that was basically doing the Jared Leto Joker as his like wrestling gimmick. Sent it off to TNA Impact Wrestling. They went ahead and gave the Crimson name to a different wrestler that was supposedly the little brother of Amazing Red. And then they took the Joker gimmick and just gave it a Sting and never gave this guy a job. So they plagiarized two things from him. And like, look, I love Sting. I thought he did as good of a job with the Joker gimmick as anyone could, not really being a comic fan and being full on Jared Leto. I thought Joker Sting in Impact Wrestling was fantastic. It was fine for what it was. When I saw it on Dynamite, I'm like, oh god, don't bring that here. I don't want to see this anymore. Like, you did it, it was fine. It was fine for the time. It'd be like if Matt Hardy shows up in WWE and starts becoming broken Matt Hardy again. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about broken Matt Hardy anymore. Don't bring it here. It was good for when it was. If I'm in the minority again, so be it. It's story of my life. But I just wasn't feeling it. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is so good." The faces were funny. The faces he was making were fucking funny. I didn't give a fuck about any of the substance, anything of what he was actually saying. I didn't really care. You're talking to AR Fox. Like, why are you turning Joker towards AR Fox? Why not make it more significant?
Because there's a casket match or coffin match. I guess
they've been having coffin matches. That's fucking Darby Allin's thing.
They weren't having a coffin match with guys that went to Nick Gage's wrestling school and beat the kid bloody in his father's garage / wrestling school in one of the coolest segments Dynamite has ever filmed.
I didn't watch it, so maybe that's why.
However, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
I was going to be like, what's the catalyst for the Joker Sting? What's the catalyst this time? Because we had a catalyst in Impact, was that he basically just went mad with Hogan and Bischoff destroying Impact. He's like, he just fucking had a really bad day and just like, he fucking went crazy. What's the catalyst here?
The catalyst is his protege. Now, mind you, all of the ancillary shit outside of the Nick Gage getting his ass whooped, which I really enjoyed, I don't really give a fuck about. Like, I don't really care about the embassy. I definitely don't give a fuck about Darby Allin, right? However, Darby being disrespected, beat up, and trashed every week, the fact that Sting isn't a guy that is really a singles or even at this point a tag team wrestler. Like, he is just kind of meant to be a character at this point, and this is one of his better characters. Now, mind you, what TNA did was shitty. I'm not holding that against Sting because TNA did something shitty. I'm holding that against TNA. They did it.
No, that wasn't fully shitty. I was saying that like what he did there was fine. I don't want him to rehash.
I'm saying TNA stealing the gimmick from somebody who's sending a tape,
taking everything,
giving it to Sting. Yeah, that's shitty on TNA. I'm not going to put that on Sting.
Okay,
Sting was just
I thought you were talking about the Joker Sting gimmick in TNA.
This whole thing was fucking entertaining. I didn't watch Joker Sting. Like, I've seen clips of Joker Sting. This was entertaining. I wouldn't say Jared Leto because I think that was post when Joker Sting happened.
No, because sorry, I'm not Jared
Heath
Leto.
Ledger.
Heath Ledger is what I meant.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't say he went Tekashi 6ix9ine here. Like, not a thing.
No, that's Darby. That's who Darby's going to be. He's going to be Tekashi Darby.
Sting for a very long time was not really a personality. Like the height of him in WCW for the most part in 96, 97, 98 was not his promos, was not his personality. Eventually that came out and we got there as WCW was slowly going down the tubes with the energy that he brings to Joker Sting, which has also been kind of missing from his character in AEW, because he has been that solemn, kind of quiet, stand there, point a bat Sting. The energy was there, the life was there, and that's why I enjoyed it, and that's why I was about it. Because if he is just going to cut promos for Darby, who sucks at cutting promos in an extremely entertaining way with all of that fucking energy, then I'm about it.
Like I said, I felt like if he's gonna go to that, there needs to be a catalyst, similar to like when Mick Foley transitions to Cactus Jack, because there's a catalyst for it. I just needed to see the catalyst. I don't think there was anything that really triggered the event. It's just like, oh, I'm Joker Sting now, which, look, personally, I didn't really care for what he was saying and who he was saying it to. If he continues with Joker Sting gimmick on Impact Wrestling and it's a slow descent down there and it actually leads to something interesting, sure. He's associated with Darby. I don't really give a fuck about Darby.
On Dynamite.
Yeah.
I think you said that you didn't watch the segment from a couple weeks ago, right?
No, I don't think I've watched. I don't think I've watched anything Dynamite except for like the MJF and Adam Cole stuff.
And I'm not saying this to be a smart aleck, but I'm saying if you went and watched that segment and you saw how well done it was, you would understand why Sting needed to turn it up to 11. And I'm not a Steve Borland guy. I don't like Sting. He's just never really been my cup of tea. We don't yuck any yums, right? But this was cool. And seeing his reaction to what happened to his people, like, I get why he turned it up to 11. And I think if you went back and watched the segment, it would make sense why he had to do this.
So was the segment last week or 2 weeks ago?
It's 2 weeks ago, right, Matt?
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
All right, I'll go back and watch it, and then next week I'll retract my statement if I feel different.
I'll actually look it up and I'll send it to you. But no, it was like World Star Hip Hop. Like, it was fucking brutal and cool and very, like, it's the coolest thing Swerve has done on AEW TV, hands down. Period.
One of the coolest segments they've done in general.
Yeah,
I'll check it out. Was that one of your swallows?
It was. So I've got 3. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on shit just to shit on shit, right? I'm not going to lie. I'm gargling undecidedly on the Jericho Callis stuff, because there were moments during the segment that I was entertained when they pulled the sheet off and it was Callis holding Jericho's severed head. I would be lying if I said I was not entertained. However, I did not give a fuck about Jericho joining or not joining the Callis family. Sammy Guevara was one of the last people from the JAS that I wanted to see come down and make the save, even though he is the one that has been by Jericho's side the longest. So yes, it does kind of make sense. I'm also not for if this is like a catalyst for them turning the JAS babyface. If that's the goal here, is to turn Jericho babyface and also the JAS through that. Like, I'm not here for it.
Haven't they tried that already? To turn him babyface, and it was like lame as fuck.
Well, everything he's done in AEW for the most part is lame as fuck. It is what it is. However, I would be lying if I said there wasn't an element of entertainment there, and there was, and I was slightly entertained. So I'm gargling undecidedly, because in the overall aspect, I don't give a fuck. And if they're going babyface JAS, then I'm not going to be about it. I'm not for it. I don't think it's a good idea. However, I was entertained during the segment a little bit, so I'm not going to completely shit on it. There was some good shit in there. I also enjoyed watching Jericho get beat down. So like that was a thing. Next up, I'm still not about the entrance music. I'm still not about any of that. However, Jack Perry coming out and saying next week he's going to retire the FTW title, and Taz kind of losing his shit a little bit on commentary because we know Taz ain't going to let that shit slide and this is going somewhere, has me intrigued. Jack Perry coming out next week to retire Taz's belt. And whatever Taz has in store next week, whatever ECW legend or whatever he's pulling out to send after Jack Perry to stop this from happening, I'm about that shit. I really enjoy Jack Perry versus RVD. I'm getting into the Jack Perry as FTW champion shit, despite the fact that I don't like the Beethoven or Bach or whatever the fuck entrance music he's got. I'm getting in on it.
If you give me the book, the way I do it is when he tries to retire the championship next week, Taz cuts him off. He introduces a friend. Leatherface comes right back out, takes off his mask, and it's Terry Funk. And that's who challenges Jack Perry next. That's how I book it. That's how I'd book it.
I would love to see the Funker. But I like the idea of where Matt's going with it, where they kind of bring in the ECW originals and let Jack Perry get put over that way. I'm a broken record. I'm not a Jack Perry guy. Like a couple people from AEW that I just don't give a shit about. But I like the idea with Jerry Lynn and RVD. Now, if Taz does it, bring Sabu back. You know, hell, figure out a way to get Scott to let you have Raven for a night. Like
Raven, I hate to say it because they said, oh, we could blah, 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 blah. But you've got Bully Ray, you've got Tommy Dreamer, you've got Raven, you've got ECW originals you can run through. Jerry Lynn is already over there. He's the one that brought out RVD.
Yep.
If you're going to have an ECW original take the title off of him, I think the best candidate would be Bully Ray, because out of all of them, I think he's the only one that can still legitimately go in the ring and doesn't need to like.
Oh, I'm not saying have an original take the title off.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hook should come back and get his revenge and get his belt back in the end of this. That is the payoff here. But building him up by having him continually beat these lists of ECW originals, these guys where the FTW championship started, the guys that Taz beat, you know, one of the guys that took the FTW, the only other person besides Taz and Hook and Brian Cage, or was it Cage or Hobbs that held the FTW title?
Cage.
Or no, it was Starks.
It was Starks and Cage. Yeah. Cage was FTW champion before Starks.
But from ECW, only one other person held that belt besides Taz. You know, have them beat these guys, build Jack Perry up, then Hook comes back, let Hook take his belt back. I'm all for it.
You know what? Slowly and slowly, I feel like I've been becoming a hooker. I've been hooked.
Me too. Like,
I don't know. Fuck.
Now that he's not a sleepy little bitch who just munches on snacks, like I'm starting to get behind him a little bit.
I like snacks, and I still don't like Hook.
Maybe he doesn't like you don't like the snacks he likes.
That's I need him to be more like his dad and less, I don't know, like a teenager. But we'll see. We'll get there. Maybe he comes back with a fucking haircut. Maybe he comes back in full Taz gear.
Maybe he comes back with some talent and charisma.
My last swallow is House of Black coming out, wrecking the Acclaimed and stealing Billy Gunn's retired boots from them. I don't like you, Will. like that. They did it with Andrade where they took his mask. Now they're going to do this thing with the Acclaimed because I don't know who their third's going to be for the trios or where this is going to go, but stealing, Daddy Ass's boots after he retired, something that they were holding on to as like a personal possession, taking that from them. I love me some Malachi and the House of Black. I'm all about it. I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. So this is going to be an entertaining as fuck feud. I'm for it. Let's go. That's my last one.
I thought their little like rap at the beginning was really good too. Yeah.
The one that they did pre-taped was fucking awful, but the rap before the match was good.
Yeah. The one before the match is the one I'm referencing.
They did a pre-tape for like Fight for the Fallen or something, and whatever Max cast, that was trash. That was ass. Like don't
I didn't see that. I didn't see that shit. It's like, are they really going to have the Acclaimed partner with Andrade now? Because we all know Andrade feud with Black isn't done.
I'm okay with the Acclaimed in Andrade. I'm cool with that.
Tijerame, daddy. No, Tijerame, papi.
I don't know how to spell that, but I want that to be the title of this episode, Vince, in Spanish.
Tijerame, papi.
Yeah.
Tijerame, papi.
I thought it was 25 years of edging.
Which one do you guys like better?
Tijerame, Papi.
Tijerame, Papi.
See? Listen, you said something that, that's how we do it. Like I might have an idea, but you say something, and sometimes what you say is better than the preconceived. And in this point, Vince, you said something that beat out 25 years of edging.
Also, there's a double entendre there. There's a double meaning there because tijera is also the Spanish word for head scissors. That's how you say a head scissors, which Andrade does.
Okay.
So
yeah, don't ruin it.
Come on.
Dickosaurus Rex, I don't think can be
She's
the
pushing
thumbnail. I don't think we can put an actual dick on there. I think all our shit will get taken down. I'm sorry, Allison. I would love to. Will, what was your favorite show you watched this week?
My favorite show this week was Dynamite. But again, I was there in the building watching it live. So I think that was it. My favorite my favorite show that I watched probably SmackDown, but it was kind of a slow week.
It was a slow week indeed.
Vince, favorite show?
The favorite show I watched this week was the episode of King of the Hill that I watched right before.
Vince, favorite show you watched this week?
By default, I'm giving it to NXT. It's the most I had notes for.
And I had the most notes for Dynamite, which tells me that Dynamite was my favorite show this week. So as per Will Gray, yes, Vince.
Can I give my favorite show of the week to Collision, even though it hasn't happened yet?
Well, no, you cannot.
I'm giving my favorite show of the week to Collision from last week.
Trust me, Collision would have been my answer if we hadn't covered it last week because we went after Collision. So
I wasn't here though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in the future already.
For the Pornhub Papi, Daddy Delgado, the Spalton of Spitter Swallow, and Chef by Trade, a Mark by Choice, the Will Gray. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
Tijerame, Papi.